Yay! Hi, everybody. This is Andy Henderson. I'm from Forward Thinking, and I am your Sherpa guide. Well, that's my nickname anyway, because I believe that growing a business is like climbing a mountain. It's bloody hard work. You feel sick and tired halfway up. Sometimes you want to come back down, but no, you need to understand what's going to happen at the top of your mountain, what you're going to experience, because that's going to stop you wanting to come back down. It's going to get you marching through full of self-belief, full of confidence, full of clarity at the top. And it's going to improve your life immeasurably by understanding that stuff. So why am I here today? So I'm here today because I haven't done a live like this for ages. I've got tons of new followers, tons of new people interacting with me every day. And they hear me talking about Success GPS. And it's like, oh, what is that? What is he on about? Success GPS, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to come on and just share with you how I really help organizations, really, people build winning businesses, boards of directors, build winning teams, build winning businesses. And it all kind of starts with my philosophy of, building a business by design, business by design. How does that work? Well, let me ask you, if you're going to build a business by design, how would it look? If you're going to rebuild your existing business or build a business from scratch by design, how would it look? How would the culture look? How would the team look? What would the employees look like? How would your financial performance look? What would all that look like? And, if you could redesign it all and start again, how would you design it so that it gives you everything you need? And it lights you up inside so that every single day when you went into work, you absolutely loved it. You really, really enjoyed it. What would it look like? I bet you've not even thought about that. Most people don't, so it's not a bad thing. But at some point, it's great when you experience the epiphany of, I actually can build a business by design. And the only thing that's stopping me is listening to other people and listening to what's going on in here, the negative self-talk and stuff. So if you were to build a business by design, how would you do it? And you might think that's an overwhelming task, but let me tell you, it's not. I use this methodology to help business owners, business leaders, boards of directors, senior management teams build their business from the ground up by design. They may already have a business that's performing. It's doing 2 million, it's doing 5 million, it's doing 10 million, it's doing 20, it's doing 30 million, whatever. But they know inside it's so much more capable. They're so much more capable of doing so much more. And it's like frustrating because sometimes you just get to the point where you've hit this glass ceiling. And all the glass ceiling means, like when you've tried everything and you can't get beyond it in terms of revenue, profit or whatever, it means that you need to go backwards and relook at the foundations and redesign the foundations as to what made your business successful in the first place. Because what made you successful as a 100-grand business are not the things that are going to make you successful as a £1 million business. We need to redesign and optimize those things. Just the same as a £1 million business, you have the foundations there, but those foundations won't take you all the way to a £20 million business. You need to redefine and optimize those foundations. So, building a business by design, it can be done. And you only need to sort of understand six bits of this journey. And I'm going to tell you what those bits are right now. So I'm going to flip to, I've got a new piece of technology. So it's not a new piece of technology, really. It's new to me. It's a Wacom sort of tablet that I can draw on and draw pictures on the screen without using the flip chart behind. And I'm actually going to draw what basically that flip chart has on it. And I find myself drawing this probably 2 or 3 times a day, but it helps. So let me share this now. Here we go. So what are the 6 things? How does Success GPS work? And how does it seek to help a board of directors, business owner? How does it seek to help them redesign their business so they can, sort of realize all that potential and really utilize, everything that's going on, all their experiences, all their hopes and dreams, and really start to move that business forward and build a winning team, build a great culture, and create a great place to work. So the first thing to note is that, every single one of us, right now, regardless of who you are, how long you've been in business, the size of your business, anything, you're at this point. This is what we call point A. Yeah, we're at point A. Think of it as a journey. Your business is on a journey. Think of it as point A. And this is the first step of Success GPS. We really define exactly where you are right now in your business. What are the numbers? What are the facts? And when you look at those numbers, you want to do something with them. You want to turn them up, turn the dial up on those numbers, really increase and maximize them. But you can't because something's holding you back. So you have to define, what is it that's holding me back? What are the obstacles? And also what are the opportunities that lie ahead that I'm not capitalizing on right now as a board, as a team? So we're going to bring this team together. We're going to start sharing this stuff and really thinking about, you know, what is it that's holding us back? What is it that's in front of us, these opportunities that we're not capitalizing on? And we're going to prioritize, some of those things. And then we're going to ask, you know, we're going to do some work on the psychological side, bringing the emotions into the business and just really understand what this business looks like. If it was a picture, what would it be? If it was a sound, what would it sound like? And if it was a feeling, what would it feel? What does it feel like in that business right now? So in the end, we've got this really good understanding of where everybody's at, and everybody agrees at that point. Right, okay. It's like getting in a car and turning on the sat nav. First thing it does is goes, where's am I? Where's am I? Where am I? So the sat nav goes to satellites and goes, where am I? It goes, you're here. Okay, I know where I am. And it sits there waiting for you to put in the destination. Well, this is the same kind of thing, right? So we're at point A, right? Point A, critical point. Where are we right now? So having the board, all input into that, numbers, the obstacles, the opportunities. And then the vital piece of the jigsaw is, where do we want to be in the future? And do you know what? I can count on one finger the amount of boards of directors that I've sat with and talked to, and I've sat with hundreds of them. No one can effectively articulate this to me as part of their senior leadership team. And point B is basically just that. It's the destination. You know, where is it this business is trying to get to? If we could build a business by design, how would it look? How would it make us feel to build that business? What would it give us in our lives? How would it impact our customers? How many customers will we serve at that point? How many employees will we have? How much revenue and profit do we want to generate? How do we want the culture to perform? How do we want the people to perform? What kind of people do we want to hire? You know, and it's all wrapped up in that point being, you know, once you've got those 2 points defined, it's like, wow, we know where we are and we know where we're going. It's awesome. So we do some work really crystallizing that point B, and all the directors I give you all an opportunity independently to write down all about your successful life, how you want your business to perform, and then each of you will share that with each other. And it's really powerful because everyone starts to then understand something vitally important, and that's the hopes and dreams of their fellow directors in the room. Then it's my job to harmonize those hopes and dreams. And instead of having 4 distinct point Bs, we have one point B where everyone agrees that is the ultimate destination. That is the top of our mountain. Yeah. But of course, at this point, there's a big gap between point A and point B. It's massive. It could be a 10-year thing. It could be a 5-year thing. And if you think about it too hard, you can get quite overwhelmed with that. So how do we take a business from, let's say, £1 million to £20 million at point B? How do we do that? Well, it's easy. We don't think constantly about the 20 million and worry about how we're not close to it yet. What we do is we think about, okay, if our business now is at one side of the Grand Canyon and the business that we want to build is at the other side of the Grand Canyon, and there's just this massive gap between, and it's really overwhelming to think about it. What can we do? Well, then what we need to do is quite simply is take this sort of journey, and we need to break it up into kind of chunks. And I need to get this red working. It's not quite working as I want it to. We need to get red, and I want that one. We need to break this journey up into kind of chunks. So let's say that's 5 years, that's 4, that's 3, that's 2, and that's 1. So we break it up. So it almost like this Grand Canyon, there's the stepping stones or even a bridge formulating across. And this is really cool because, you know, right at this point, at point A, if you recall, we're all like running around like headless chickens. We're all running around like point A, moving a lot, but not really making much progress, you know. And I think that's really, it's almost like soul destroying. We're just going, oh, hang on. Let's just get this right. We're just going up, down, left, right, round and round in circles. But obviously now that we've got point B, we can start to make some massive, massive shifts. We can start to actually move forwards. All that time, effort, energy, and money, instead of it going round and round in circles, we can harness it so that it's all going in the same direction. So, you know, time, I can't write on this damn thing, effort, energy, we can point it all in one direction. So we're not confusing movement with progress. We're actually making progress because we can see every step of the way, which is absolutely awesome. So let's just get this redrawn again. So we've got point A here, we've got point B, massive journey in between the two, but we've just got this journey going like this across, and we've broken it down to chunks. So we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Andrew, we know where we are as a board. We know where we're trying to get to as a board, which is great. We've got these waypoints or base camps on the journey. Awesome. So how do we move from how do we get there then? How do we do it? So then we're starting the strategy. So we've got step 1 of Success GPS. Where are we now? Step 2 is where are we going? Step 3 is breaking the journey down and creating the waypoints and the milestones. Step 4 is all about how the route and resources, what are the services we offer? What are the new services we might offer? Who's the dream buyer for each of those services? When I talk about dream buyer, I don't mean just like picking an industry sector. I mean picking a person. I mean picking the demographic, the psychographic, the problem, pain, result, and evidence that you've got to back up the fact that you can solve those problems, solve those pains. One of the biggest questions I get most often is, I'm not getting enough leads and inquiries into my business. How do I fix that? And I look at the marketing, and I've just been speaking to a friend of mine now. He's got the same problem, and the marketing is never going to work because it's talking about the thing that they're selling. It's not talking about the problem that they're solving and the result that they're going to give to the customer, and that's massive. So we go through all that exercise. We talk about them. We start to define the message. We start to define how we communicate that message. And you've got to remember, there's 4 or 5 people. Your whole board's in this room with me. We're doing this. We're building it together. We're building the whole thing, the whole plan, that from A to B, breaking it down. We're building the whole strategy. What kind of partners do we need to work with? What kind of systems and technology do we need to bring into this business to make it work over this period of time? What about resources, people, skills, intellectual property, machinery, buildings, vehicles, whatever? We need to track that as well. What do we need in year 1, year 2, year 3, so on and so forth? And once we've gone through all that strategic bit and we've defined it, we've got the building blocks to the foundations to grow from 1 million to 10, from 5 million to 20, from 20 million to 50. It doesn't matter, because whatever you set out to achieve, you can achieve it. We just need to break it down to smaller chunks and understand the investment priorities, understand the resource requirements, understand how to attract the right kind of clients into the business that pays for that growth. Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's not. We make it complicated ourselves by what's going on in here. It's like spaghetti junction a lot of the time in our heads. So what happens when we've got the strategic stuff? Well, listen, we boil everything down. This is when it gets really interesting. And some of my customers, they call this point, the big reveal. So the big reveal happens on step 5 of Success GPS, where you don't realize it's happening. The board doesn't realize it's happening, but we're going through this systematic Q&A session, and out the thing that drops out the other side of it is 12 points. There's 12 points, 12 action steps that you need to implement as a board to make sure you get from where you are now to your 1-year goals in 12 months' time. It's simple. And the feeling that the board gets that at that point, it's so good and so positive because there's ultimate clarity. They know where they are. They know where they're trying to get to. The journey's broken down into chunks. We understand the strategic stuff of how to get there. Now we've got a 12-step plan to make that first step on that journey to go forwards for the year goals. And the final step of Success GPS is step 6, where we define the vital signs. In order to feel like you're making progress, we need to measure the vital components of the business that we can measure on a weekly basis that shows that we're actually making progress or not, as the case may be. And it keeps everyone on track, keeps you on track, keeps you accountable. And once we've done the whole mapping out exercise, and you know the destiny map by now, I probably don't need to show you, but that's basically the destiny map. You've all seen that before. I use that. That's like the cornerstone to the whole program. Once we've gone through all that, then it's like, okay, Andy, thanks very much for the mapping. We've got the map. We feel really good. What's next? What happens then is I help the board execute it. So I meet with the MD or one of the senior leaders once a week. I meet with the whole board once a month, and I basically run the board meeting for the team. And it's all based on executing the plan, because it's my job to make sure that if you're working with me, I need to make sure you hit your 1-year goals. Because if you hit your 1-year goals, if you take those steps, if you do what you've signed up for to build the business that you want, to live the life that you want to, and you've done it together as a board, a team, then it's my job to help you execute that, because I need to keep you on track. So I'll run the board meetings. I'll meet with you once a week for 30 minutes. Board meetings a couple of hours, and we'll go from there. And we'll just make sure everyone's accountable, everyone does what they say, and it gets executed. And what happens then? Well, at that point, you've got the plan. You've got me helping you implement the plan. But more importantly, what happens next is, because the plan is not just about the board of directors. If you want to build a winning business, you've got to build a culture and a team that believes in this business. But how do you do that, right? So it's dead easy. You just communicate with them. You communicate with the team. You share the plan. So once I've helped you build the plan, it's all stored in PowerPoint or Keynote, and the plan then can be articulated and communicated to your whole business. Imagine the power of helping the whole business understand, your whole business understand exactly where you are, exactly where you're trying to get to, the things that are holding you back, the opportunities that exist that we're going to capitalize on, the 12-step plan, the customer avatars, everything. Imagine communicating that to your whole organization. Imagine communicating the goals to your whole team, and tracking progress towards those goals every month, and then communicating with the whole team every single month about the progress towards those goals. Imagine the power of that. It's going to create belief. And when you create belief in the team, when not only they understand the whole journey that the business is on, when they understand the part that they play in that journey, their specific part, their specific skills and role, what part that plays in that journey, then you create belief in your team. And when you create belief, high performance follows. It's an amazing feeling. And then once all that kicks off, I've actually got a bolt-on product called Career GPS, and that takes the people as individuals and supercharges their career. So instead of doing your personal development planning once every 6 months or once a year, if your people are lucky, you don't like doing it, they don't like it being done. No, we create a personalized map for them based on their 3-year goals. What is their life goal in 3 years? What is their knowledge goal? What is their career goal in 3 years? Let's overlay that set of goals and that process on top of the business GPS map for the company that represents a compelling vision of the future and how we're going to get there. Let's put their map on it. Let's overlay it, and let's support them on that journey. And guess what? It turns like a manager and an employee conversation. It takes that away. It turns into a coaching conversation. And it's not about having PDPs every 6 months or a year. It's just, Andy, come over here. Let's have a chat. Bring your map. Let's see how you go. Let's see how you're doing, making progress. You can do it once a day. You can do it once a week. You can do it sporadically. As long as you do it regularly. But it's an exciting thing. Come on, bring your map in. Let's see how much progress you're making towards your goals. Brilliant. You're doing so well. I can see we're doing that. The milestones are complete. Your 90-day view looks solid. Your vital signs are all on track. Well done. You're flipping having this. And by the way, that training course that you wanted to develop you to the next level is on its way as well next week. Brilliant. Imagine the power of that in your business. Imagine the whole board, your whole board of directors, working together, understanding exactly where they all want to be and exactly how they're going to get there because they've all contributed. Imagine sharing that excitement with the whole business so that not only they're sharing that excitement, but they understand the part that they play in that excitement in that journey. And then taking those people and supercharging them with their own maps and overlaying that against the business. So everybody feels part of this journey. Everybody's fired up. Everybody's moving together, forward together. And everybody wants to turn up for work on a Monday and they don't want to leave on Friday because they're having such a good time because they're making a difference. Just imagine that. That's Success GPS. That's what I've created. That's what my customers, 350, 60 customers by now, 70 even, they've helped me hone this and fine tune it over a period of 3 years. And it's been awesome. And it just gets better and better. So it's been a great week so far. I don't know how your week's been. I've seen two customers today, 2 potential new Success GPS customers today, which is great. I've got another couple to see later in the week, and we've got Your Affordable Boards coming on Friday. I'm well excited. Anyway, listen, I've been on for 20 minutes now. This is crazy. I need to go to Blackburn to pick up some stuff. So it's been great to see you. Thanks for tuning in and watching. I really appreciate it. If you understand any of the stuff I'm talking about, even if you think it's really relevant, if you like the concepts of some of the stuff, if you just want a bit of advice or a bit of help, look, let's just jump on a call. I'll help you where I can. And, if Success GPS is right for you, let's make it happen because it's going to make a massive difference in your organization. And it will start in 1 day. 1 day with me, everything starts to shift, starting with your thinking, then the way you feel, then the stuff we're doing in your business to really make it win for you. Okay, nice to see you. Sherpa Guidance episode, whatever. I'm Andy Henderson, your Sherpa Guide, and I'll see you soon. Just remember, guys, you're just one step away